guys, my name is Hema and welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, I will be filming a reading vlog of From Blood and Ash by Jennifer L. Armentrout. I am so excited to read this book. I've had it for I got it when quarantine started, I feel like, I don't know. I've had it for so long and I've been dying to read it. It is a long 600 pages, so I'm super excited to dive into this. And this is just going to be kind of a vlog of my reactions and me talking about it. This will be this will have spoilers because I don't know how to do a reaction vlog without there being spoilers. So yes, there will be spoilers in this book. This book is about this girl named Poppy, and I'm not even gonna lie to you guys, I have started it because I just couldn't wait. I am 100 pages in and there are 600 pages, so don't worry, you will get my full reaction. So I'm just gonna go over quickly what I've read so far and tell you guys a little bit about the book. And yeah, so this book is about this girl. She's a maiden. Her name is Poppy, and Poppy, as a maiden, she can't be looked at, touched, experience pleasure. She can't speak to anyone, anything. She basically has to live her life as discreetly as possible. And so she lives in a kingdom, and it's kind of hard to explain it, but she has a duty, and her duty is to ascend to the gods. And I have no idea what that means. I don't know if that's a regular fantasy type of thing, to ascend to gods. I don't know, but that's what she has to do. She has to ascend to the gods, and her ascension is coming up, and she doesn't know if she wants to do that, and she kind of wants to just experience things before her ascension comes, because she doesn't know if that means she's gonna die. She doesn't know if that means what that's going to mean for her. So Poppy right now, the part that I'm at, or the part that I've read, is that Poppy decides to sneak away from her castle, from her home, and go to this nightclub called the Red Pearl. And the Red Pearl is kind of like a, what is it called? A hookup club? What is that called? I forget. But she goes there and she hears her maids talking about the Red Pearl, and she decides to sneak away and go to the Red Pearl and see what it's all about. So she steals one of her maid's cloaks, and she goes there and kind of sees what's going on. She hears people talking and stuff like that. But her father figure walks through the door, and she's freaking out because she's like, I don't even want to know what he's doing here, but I need to hide because he can't see me here. And her father figure is actually one of her guards. I forgot his name right now, but he kind of looks after her and takes care of her. So yes, so she decides to go upstairs into one of the private rooms and sneak away until her father figure is gone. And so she does that, and there is a guy in the room that she's hiding in, and his name is Hawk, and she actually recognizes him. And again, nobody knows what she looks like because as a maiden she can't be looked upon. And so she recognizes him because he's one of the guards of the kingdom, and he actually visits that club a lot and hooks up with one of Poppy's maids. And it's the maid that she stole the cloak from. And so he recognizes the cloak and he's like, oh, hi, what are you doing here? And they kind of start making out and kissing. And then he realizes right away that Poppy is not the maid that he usually hooks up with. And so they get to talking a little bit. And I think it's going to be a romance between Hawk and Poppy. So I'm super excited for that. But after all of that happened, she doesn't see him for a little bit. She sneaks away from the room. And again, he doesn't know who she is. So a few days later, there's an attack at the castle. One of her maids gets the blood drained out of her, and she's found dead in one of the rooms. And so Poppy is extremely freaked out, and she's trying to figure out what creature did this. She has theories. People are talking to her about theories, but her father figure's talking to her about theories and stuff like that. And so she's right now really trying to figure out who got the blood drained out of them and what is going on. And then shortly after that, she decides to go into the gardens with one of her other bodyguards, and that bodyguard got killed. They got attacked, Poppy and the guard, and by an arrow he gets killed. And it's very clear that the arrow was meant for Poppy. So right now she's kind of just freaking out. She doesn't really know what to do. She has theories about who is attacking her. That's what I'm reading right now. And so that's the part that I'm at. She's trying to figure out who this is, who's killing people, and who is after her, as because she is the maiden and she is very important. Also, she has this gift where she can sense other people's pains, she can feel people's pain, and she can also take away people's pain. And so her and her father figure like to go around and kind of take care of problems. Her guards go to this like secret kind of unknown place and they get attacked, they end up turning into something, and I don't really know what that something is yet, but they kind of end up killing people and I think eating people. And so whenever Poppy and her father figure get like a sign that somebody's in danger, they go and Poppy takes care of it. And that is where I'm at. I'm going to read more today, and I'm also during this vlog going to show you stuff that's going on in my life because I have a lot of stuff coming up. Tomorrow I am going to New Orleans to spend time with my grandparents, so yes, I'm planning on reading this on the plane tonight. And I really want to finish this soon because I have a lot of other fun videos coming up that I want to do. So this needs to be done because it's on my conscience and I just want to read it and love it. But I really think I will. This will be my second fantasy ever. I did read... Where is it? I did read The Cruel Prince by Holly Black, and I didn't really like it that much. I stopped at page 281 and there are 369 pages. I found this boring. When I read a book, there has to be some type of romance in it. So I found this very boring. I did hear that romance does pick up in the next 2 books, but I'm not one. All my books just fell. I'm not one to buy books and waste money if I'm not enjoying it. So I decided to just stop reading this. Plus, this was why a young adult. So I don't know if that's why I didn't like it. So this is an adult fantasy book. So hopefully I'll like it more. And I heard that this is very romance heavy as I've seen. So yes, that is what I'm reading. I'm super excited to read it. Also, if I feel like if I don't like this, I'm just gonna give up on fantasy. There is no point of me reading fantasy if I'm not gonna like it. So this is my last hope. Please do not disappoint me. I got some book mail. I'm super excited. I got 3 books and I already opened up the box so it'd be easier, but I'm just gonna show you guys the books that I recently purchased. So let's see. First, I got Tasse and Mortis. I don't know how to pronounce this, but this is the 3rd book in the Elite Kings Club. And now I have every book in the series, which I'm super excited about. There are 2 more books coming out, so I'm going to purchase those when they come. But I love this series. I talk about it all the time on my channel, The Elite Kings Club by Amo Jones. And I'm so happy to have all the books in the collection. Ooh, okay, so the next book I got was Ecstasy by K.V. Rose. And I see this book all over Bookstagram. I saw it a little while ago, and I don't really know what this is about. All I know is that it's based in college, and I'm assuming by the name it has to do with drugs. So it should be very interesting. The cover is beautiful. The spine is beautiful. I love this whole vibe. Hopefully it gives me Euphoria vibes because I love Euphoria. Okay, and the last book that I got is Welcome to the Dark Side by Gianna Darling. I actually saw this book in a live stream for Romance Booktubers that was hosted on Brie from In Love and Words channel, and they talked about this book and they raved about it, so I decided to purchase it. I actually did read the first book in the Fallen Men series, which was Lessons in Corruption or Corrupt, I don't know. I didn't really like that much, but I am going to give this a chance. Apparently you don't have to read the other books to read this book, and yes, there's an age gap, and I'm super excited to read it. Everybody says it's amazing, so yes, that is the 3 books that I recently purchased. I am now going to read from Blood and Ash, and I'm going to update you when I get a good chunk through and kind of if something exciting is happening. So that is what is going on. Hey guys, okay, so I am now in New Orleans at my grandparents' house, and I'm so happy to be here. My grandma, I'm so happy to be here, but I am currently reading from Blood and Ash, of course, that's what the whole point of this vlog is, and I am on what page am I on? 176, and so because her guard, Rylan, got killed, she has to have a new guard her, and that is going to be Hawk. from the Red Pearl, the guy that she ended up doing stuff with, and he didn't know it was her, and now she has to unveil herself and reveal herself to him so he doesn't get distracted in the future. And so I'm like so scared. Like I'm like excited, but like I just have nervous energy because he's about to see her, and I'm just like shook. This is so good. And the fact that it's turning into a bodyguard romance, yes, perfection. I love it. I will update you guys when something else happens. Okay, I'm back. It's been 2 seconds, and Hawk's reaction to Penelope's or Poppy's face, I love him so much already. He's done the bare minimum, but still, I am in love with him. And F the Duke. Okay, so there's a Duke and a Duchess who kind of run the whole house. I don't even know how to explain it. There's a Duke and Duchess who run it, and then there's a capital where the queen lives in the whole kingdom of the Ascended. But the Duke and Duchess kind of run Poppy's household and castle or whatever it is they live in. And the Duchess is okay, she's nice, but the Duke absolutely hates Poppy. He like loathes her, and so he just makes little remarks like, and it's so annoying. I'm like, shut up, you're like a grown man and you're just hate her. And he does some pretty creepy stuff with her, and I'm just not here for it. It's making me very uncomfortable because I feel like, is Poppy in danger? Is she not in danger? Is she okay? Also, Poppy's face, half of it is like described as really beautiful and the other half is described as a nightmare by the Duke. And so that just is what I just read, and it's like sending me. Half of her face has like scars and stuff, and then the other side is very like lovely, I don't know. But Hawk had the perfect reaction. I am so excited for this romance to progress. I know it's coming. I know who it's with. I just hope it's executed really well. Right now I'm like hooked. So hopefully I continue to be that. Hey guys, it's the next day. I'm still in the same spot because I am still reading. But I am now 222 pages in, and it is so good. The story's picking up, and it's amazing. So what I'm very confused about is that the Duke is like the Duke and the Duchess kind of own that castle that Poppy stays in. The castle is called Castle Tierman, and that is where, and that's the name of the Dukes, Duke Tierman, Duchess Tierman. And the Duke likes to find any reason to punish Poppy for the smallest little things, and it is so annoying. And she's getting really fed up over it, and Hawk, being her new bodyguard, is kind of getting concerned. And her father figure, Victor, who's also one of the guards, he's concerned as well. And she just found out that the Duke actually knew her mother. And if you don't know, her mother, Poppy's mom and dad died, and that's why she became in custody of like the castle and the queen and the dukes and the duchess and everything. And so yes, she died, and she just found out that the Duke actually knew her. They died due to, they were slaughtered or something like that, I believe. I don't know. I don't think they said really why yet, but I will update you when I get there. It's really good so far. I really want to get a good chunk of it done. I'm not even halfway through. So, yes, that is what's going on, and I will update you guys when something interesting is happening. Hey guys, so it's a little bit later, and I am now 246 pages into the book, and I'm loving it so much. I'm so surprised. I think I will actually like fantasy now, but I still have a long way to go. It's basically, I love Poppy. I love Poppy so much. She's a badass bitch. She's amazing. So we found out what it is that attacked her bodyguard and that attacked her, one of the maids. And it's called a craven, which is basically like a vampire, but in their world, they're called cravens. And so the cravens started to attack like the rise, I think it's what it's called, or like the kingdom. And so she snuck out of her room to go fight them, and she killed like many of them. She was like doing her bow and arrow, she was getting it. She is amazing. And then, oh, nobody's around me. And then we have Hawk, who was there fighting off the Craven as well, and he is just watching Poppy like do her thing and kill everyone, and then and kill the Cravens. And he's like, oh, I need to know who that is. And so he goes up to her, he's like, you're amazing, da da da. And he notices the dagger that she has in her hand is the same dagger of the lady who was at the Red Pearl with him. And he's like, I know you. And it's like, it's so good right now, but he still doesn't know that the person who was killing the Craven and the people and the girl who was at the Red Pearl with him is Poppy, the maiden, who like, I'm freaking out right now. I cannot wait to find out how he's gonna find out that Poppy is a maiden, and the girl at the Red Pearl, and the girl who's killing all the Cravens. But right now he's like trying to get, he's like kind of like intrigued by her. He literally said that. He's like, I'm intrigued by you. And she's like, oh, why are you intrigued by me? Leave me alone. You can't know that I'm a maiden. And he's also her now personal guard. And it's just so good. And I'm freaking out. And I don't know what's gonna happen. And I'm just flipping my crap, basically. So yeah, that's what's going on. I'm probably not gonna update again until tomorrow morning, because it is now like 11 o'clock at night. I really want to get to at least page 400 by tomorrow afternoon. And then, yes, but it's so good right now. I am obsessed. I love it. Okay. Hey guys. Okay, so it's again 24 hours after last time, and I'm really not making progress in this book at all. I'm reading excruciatingly slow, and it's so annoying. Like, I really just want to get through it. It's just that, like, I'm here with my family and grandparents and my cousins, and I don't have that much time to read, like, during the day. But it's only, what time is it? Like 11 o'clock now. So I'm gonna read this for the rest of the night, like, until I get tired. So I'm on page 274, and it is so good. Hawk now knows that Poppy is the maiden. Hawk now knows that Poppy's the maiden, the girl from the Red Pearl, and the girl who was shooting the arrows. And he's like kind of into her. Like, they have this weird like sexual tension going on that I am here for, and that is just so, it's keeping me thoroughly entertained. And Victor, who again is Poppy's like father figure, is kind of just like, be careful. Like, I understand that he's attractive, and Poppy and Victor are like, Victor thinks that Hawk could report Poppy to the Duke for sneaking out and going to the Red Pearl and her and him making out. So Victor's kind of skeptical. Victor's like, how do you know we can trust him? He could have his own agendas. And then she's like, I trust him. And now Victor and Hawk are going through this weird little banter thing, like, where they're kind of just like, every little comment they make, one of them goes back at each other and being like, and disagreeing with them, and it's kind of like this arguing thing. And it's kind of making me think that Victor, her like father figure, low-key has a thing for Poppy, and it's making me low-key uncomfortable because he's like riding Hawk. But anyways, I'm on 274, and I really want to get to at least 350 tonight. So yeah, that is what's going on. I feel like I'm updating you guys with every little thing. Am I? I don't know. So I'm not gonna update you guys, and then I'm just gonna do like a big update, because I feel like I'm updating you every little thing. So yeah, I'm hoping to finish this within the next 3 days, because I love it, but I just need to read it faster. Like, I just need to spend a day reading it all, not going on my phone, not going on social media, because it is really good. It's like not a force. It's not a question of if I want to read it. It's a question of me like taking the time to sit down and read it. So right now it's really good. It's looking like a 4-star for me, or maybe, yeah, definitely like a 4-star. But if I feel the need to really read this, then I'll definitely move to a 5-star. Hey guys, it's the next day, and I am now on page 378. A lot has gone down, and I am so in love with this book. I love this book. Basically, let's see, what's the last thing I told you guys? I told you that Alright, so the last thing that I told you guys was about how Hawk now knows that who Poppy is, and that she's the maiden. I'm gonna go over here and talk. Hawk now knows who Poppy is. And he's very intrigued by her, like I said before, and he just wants to like kind of get closer to her. So basically, Poppy has been getting in trouble a lot with the Duke, and she decides to sneak out of her room and go to the library and borrow a book. And this book is actually a diary of a woman who only wrote about her sexual encounters, and as a maiden, she never experienced any of that before. So she decides to borrow the book from the library. She snuck away and is reading it, and she's like kind of fascinated by all the stuff that she's talking about in the diary. And so Hawk actually catches her sneaking at the library. He knows that she wasn't in the room, and he went to go find her, and he found her, and he's like kind of like taunting her over the fact that she's reading such like a sexual diary. And yes, so their relationship, you can clearly tell that the relationship is growing, and they're getting to know each other and talking about their like fears and secrets and stuff like that. And then after that, there was the rite, and the rite is like a big party where people are dancing, and the Duke and the Duchess kind of introduce the families of that are being ascended, basically. And so this is the first time Poppy wasn't without her covering. Like, she had a full face of makeup, she had her dress on, and she didn't have to cover herself anymore. And Poppy and Hawk actually sneak away, and they decide to go to the garden where Poppy's bodyguard was killed. And they actually make out, and they talk, and they're getting to know each other, and they make out. And then right as they leave, Victor is there, and I was so shocked. Victor is pissed as hell at both Poppy and Hawk. He's like, what are you guys doing? You could have gotten in trouble. He knows that they did something because Poppy's lips are swollen and Hawk's lips are swollen. So he's like so mad at them. And Poppy realizes that that being a maiden isn't all that great. She doesn't have the freedom as anybody else. She doesn't get to do what she wants. So why is it this huge honor? She doesn't understand. And so she's trying to live her life before she has to she's trying to live her life before she has to ascend, and she's really trying to decide right now whether or not this is something she wants to do. She might, in order to ascend, you have to be found worthy of by the gods, and it kind of seems like she's self-sabotaging herself and trying to make herself seem unworthy to the gods. Like, she's not supposed to kiss anyone. She just kissed Hawk again for the second time. They did heavy petting. So yes, I'm loving this right now. Victor and Hawk have this kind of battle thing going on. Before, I said that I think that Victor might have a crush on Poppy, but that was gross. I'm sorry. He's actually just her father figure, and he's worried about her, and he's loves her as a daughter. So yes, that is what's going on. I love it so far, but also Victor and Hawk have this intense thing going on. Hawk just threatened Victor. Like, Victor was just like, you can't be alone with Hawk anymore, and Hawk threatened the crap out of him. So I'm so excited to see where this goes. I know there's a second book, which I'm wondering A Blood and Ash. So I'm guessing the series is called A Blood and Ash. So this is A Blood and Ash 1, and I'm almost done. I'm more than halfway. I am 379 pages, and there are 600 pages, I believe. I will update you guys a little bit later when I get through this book. I'm really trying to finish this like by tomorrow night. So yes, I'm gonna do some intensive reading now, and I will get back to you later, guys. It's the next morning. I look crazy as always, but I love this book so much. I did not expect to love it, but I do. I love it. It is so great. Poppy is such a badass. I love her. The last thing I told you guys was the rite, and at the rite, they actually get attacked by the Cravens, which I believe are like vampires, but they're called the Cravens. And Poppy just defended herself like hardcore with her sword, with her knife, in front of the Duchess and the, what's his name? And the Lord. Is that the name? Lords? Yes. She just defended herself in front of the Lord, and the Duchess, and they're like, how are you able to do this, because she's not supposed to know how to fight like that, like who is teaching her how to fight? And Victor, her like father figure, was like, I taught her. And now they're basically just like trying to save themselves, because the Cravens just killed like so many people, and Poppy cannot find Hawk anywhere. So she's like kind of like confused. She's just hoping that Hawk is okay, and I'm hoping Hawk is okay, and I'm like crying. I'm just so nervous. I really like, I hope he's fine, which I think he will be, because hello, I think this is not going to be like a tragic romance. I hope not. But I am loving this book. Sorry, my arm is getting tired. I am loving this book so incredibly much. It is so good. I'm on page 396, and that means I have a little more than 200 pages left, and I am so excited. I cannot wait to see what happens. And apparently there's like a huge cliffhanger at the end, or something big happens at the end, so I'm dying to get to that point. I'm actually going to Target today, and yesterday I uploaded my Walmart, checking out the Walmart book selection, and so I might film a Target version of this, but I probably won't upload that for like a while, just because I just uploaded the Walmart one. But I really want to edit this vlog and get it up by tomorrow afternoon, so I'm gonna try any moment I can to read this book. I love it. I don't know why it's taking me so long to get through it, but I love it so far. I love it, and I definitely want to give fantasy another try, because this was just amazing. So yes. Okay, I'm back, and I think Tawny and Victor may have this thing going on. Oh, did I tell you guys who Tawny is? Tawny is Poppy's what is it called, lady in wait. And so she's basically like hired to be Poppy's friend. So Poppy is always insecure about that. She's like, if she had a choice, she probably wouldn't be my friend. And they're very, very close. They tell each other everything. But Poppy's a little bit insecure, because it's like she feels like Tawny is her like forced friend. So yes, but Tawny, I love Tawny, but I think Tawny and Victor may have a thing going on. Like, a few comments have been made, and I'm like, am I here for that? I don't know. It definitely be an age gap, and I love that crap. So yes. Are you freaking kidding me? I'm about to cry. I literally just put down the camera, and I was saying that Tawny and Victor were like, I was thinking they'd have something, and then a dissenter came and just shoved his sword through his chest. What the hell? I'm gonna cry. Stop. No, this is actually so sad. Well, I guess Tawny and Victor won't be a thing. But that's irrelevant. Poppy's like freaking out right now. Anyways, wow, I'm about to cry. This is really sad. Okay. Okay, guys, it's a little later, and I'm determined to finish this book today. I'm on page 462, and a lot has gone down since I last told you guys. So as you know, Victor died, and Poppy kind of lost her crap, and she started to kill the Lord. She killed the Lord. She like butchered him completely. It was wild. And she's going through like a lot of stuff, because her father figure just died. And so she gets summoned by the Duchess, and the Duchess tells her that the Queen is calling for her, and that most likely will mean an early ascension. So she and Hawk and everyone and a few guards are traveling to the capital, and it is very dangerous right now, because there are Cravens that are out and about, and they're passing very dangerous areas. And Poppy's also a little bit nervous to go see the Queen, because that means she'd most likely have to ascend early. But the Queen decided that it was no longer safe for her at the Castle Tierman, so that's why she asked for her to come to the capital. And a really steamy scene just happened, because they were camping out, like, and Poppy couldn't sleep, and Hawk is like, well, I can relax you, and he does, and then she goes to sleep, and it was really good. And Poppy then they were attacked by Cravens, and one of her guards died, so she had to she took away his pain, and everybody's like, wow, you do have the gift that you could take people's pains away. And it's very good. I'm almost done. I really want to finish this today, because I want to read Beach Read for the Page Turners Book Club live show, and I want to like tune in and know what's going on. So yes, also I want to film a few videos today, and I also have to take a math placement test for my university. So yes, I really want to finish this today because there's just so much that I want to read, and I feel like I'm taking forever to read this book. So that's what's going on, and I will update you when something wild happens or when I finish the book. I'm on page 509, and I want to cry. This is why I have trust issues. Like, oh my gosh. I knew that the last 100 pages would be filled with plot twists, but I didn't expect it to be like this. Like, I feel so sad. I got so attached and I almost just cried. But I don't know if I've been telling you guys what's been going on this whole time, but I don't know if I want to like spill this tea. Like, if you haven't read it, I really want you to. But I'm assuming if you're watching this video, I'm assuming that you've already watched it or read it. But the last things that have happened. Okay, so they stopped at this town, and it's like another like little town where there's a lord who watches over that specific town. And they went to the town, and they're like, we need safety. What is it called? We need storage? No. We need shelter. We need shelter. And so they were like, yeah, sure, we're gonna give you shelter. And so they did. And then Hawk and Poppy do the deed. And while I was reading it, my anxiety was so high because I was like, why is Hawk so selfish? Like, if she isn't a maid, if she's not a virgin anymore, then she can't be a maiden and her life is ruined. And yeah, she may be confused about it, but why is he like enabling her to do this? Like, does he not care about her life? And it's clear that he doesn't because it just got exposed. But anyways, so they have sex, and the next morning she wakes up, and Hawk is like, okay, I'll be back. And then while he's gone, Phillips, another one of the guards, comes to Poppy's room and is like, Poppy, like, something seems wrong. Or he calls her the maiden, something seems wrong. There's something very wrong with this town. And there's something weird with Kiernan, who is another one of the guards. And there's something weird going on with Hawk. And she's like, what? Like, what? Like, how can you say this about Hawk? But she goes along with it because she thinks that Phillips is actually a Craven or a Dissenter or a Wolven or something like that. I don't know. And so she's like low-key thinking in her head, like, okay, obviously Hawk didn't do this, or Hawk isn't like crazy, so it must be him. Because why would he want to turn Hawk against her? And so they go outside. So then Kiernan pops up out of nowhere, and Phillips is like, get back, He cuts Kiernan, and Kiernan turns into a wolf. Okay, so Poppy and Phillips run for their lives, and then the guy who killed her first guard, Rylan, in the very beginning of the book, is there. And he's like, remember my promise that I made for you, that I'll kill you, And she's like, yeah. And then Hawk shows up, and then Hawk kills Phillips and everyone. This probably isn't making sense, but Hawk kills Phillips, the guy who was trying to save Poppy, and the other guards. And I'm like so shook. And then Hawk and the guy who killed Rylan are having a conversation, and he's like, we need her alive. And I'm like, oh my gosh, they just had sex. Like, Poppy's falling in love with him, and he was lying to her this whole time. Are you kidding me? This has to be like a joke. Anyways, I have a feeling I'm gonna fly through these pages very fast, and I will tell you guys when I'm done. Honestly, it probably won't be when I'm done because I'm pretty sure so much more crazy shit is about to happen. So I will probably pick up this camera at least 20 more times, but I only have 100 pages left, so I am very excited to see what happens. Okay guys, I just finished from Blood and Ash, and I absolutely adore this book. I'm so glad I read it. I'm so glad I gave fantasy another try because this was so amazing. The last things that happened, there are so many plot twists in the last 100 pages, and I'm just so like shook. I can't even wrap my head around it. But since this is a spoiler vlog, I guess I'll just tell you what happens. I don't know. This is weird. I've never done like a spoiler vlog before. Also, I feel like you're tilted. Let me try like that. Okay, that feels better. Okay, yes. I've never done a spoiler vlog before, so I don't really know how much I should spoil. I mean, I've been spoiling it throughout the entire video, but like this was just a lot of crap happened and it was so good. So basically, oh, I can't even, like, there's so much plot twist. So to wrap up the last few things that happened in the book, a lot of crap has happened. So Hawk is not actually Hawk. Hawk is the Dark One. And throughout the entire book, you hear about the Dark One this, the Dark One that. And it was believed that the Dark One was sending the Cravens to come and attack all the ascended people, like the Duchess and the Duke and the Lords and all those people. And basically the whole kingdom. It turns out that all that was not true. The Dark One is Hawk. And Hawk isn't the one who, and the Dark One isn't sending out the Cravens to attack the Ascended. The Ascended are actually vampires, and they've been lying to Poppy her entire life. The Ascended need to feed on blood to live, and whenever they feed on somebody and they take their blood, those people turn into Cravens, and that is who is like attacking them. And so this is actually like a funny twist on like Twilight, because there's werewolves and vampires, and this is like Bella choosing werewolves, basically this, because Poppy's whole life she thought the Ascended people were so great, the queens, the queen, the Duke, the Duchesses, the Lords, the ladies in wait, all those people, she thought they were amazing. And it turns out they've been lying to her whole life about the Dark One and the Cravens, and they made up a whole story that just wasn't true. And so Poppy finds out that Hawk is the Dark One, and the Dark One, his name is Prince Castile. So Prince Castile decides to tell Poppy the real story, and the story's wild, and it's basically like werewolves versus vampires right now, and it's so good. It ended on such a huge cliffhanger, and I'm shook, and I am not doing well. I am not doing okay. So Poppy finds out something about herself. Poppy thought she was mortal this whole time. She's not. Or she didn't think she's mortal. She thinks she's mortal, but she did have powers of the maiden. And so she just finds out that she's actually half werewolf. And in this book, they call them Atlantians. And so she finds out that she's half Atlantean. And she finds it out because Hawk, or Princess Castile, actually bites her and he tastes her blood. And he finds out, he's like, no, you are definitely like a werewolf. And she's like, what? And they're like shook, and I'm just like, and I'm not doing well. And yes, it's so good. And the cliffhanger is that Prince Castile is taking Poppy back home to Atlantia, where he will marry her. What? Are you kidding me? I'm just so shook right now. And also, I can tell that the next book is going to be like so good. I can already tell like the relationships between the werewolves and Poppy is going to be such like a vibe. Kiernan, I have a feeling that Kiernan is Prince Castile's second-hand man, right-hand man, his beta, I don't know. I can tell, and I can tell that Kiernan and Poppy are going to be really close. They're already starting to have banter, and I just love it. And then all the other werewolves, I think, are going to be all protective over her, and she's going to be like the queen of the werewolves, or the Atlanteans, and I'm just so happy. This is the Twilight that I never got, because though I never shipped Bella with Jacob, I did want her to be like with the werewolves and be like just with them, because werewolves are just cooler than vampires. And so she's my Bella choosing Jacob's family. So I absolutely love this book. Thank you guys so much for watching. Want to see more reaction vlogs from me? I love this book. I recommend everybody give it a try. It's just amazing. So many plot twists. It was everything. Thank you guys so much for watching, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and check out my description box down below for Black Lives Matter movement petitions, donations, and other things to inform yourself. Thank you so much for watching, and goodbye.